Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture.
We are going to be doing a flip through of this tag book, so grab yourself a cuppa and settle in.
Hey friends, I have finished my coffee tag book made with products from this Calls For Confetti from the Daily Grind range of products, and I wanted to share it with you. But before I go through this, I want to just do a kind of a recap on some of the products. I think these are actually all the products from the coffee line, but scoot things out of the way a little bit so we can focus. So these rub-ons, I don't know if this is going to help with the glare or not. They're absolutely amazing. You can cut out what you want, what you don't want. Like if you just want the word you just cut out the word you, right? It says thanks a latte. If you just need thanks versus a latte, you can just take the thanks. You can use them however you would want to use them. I have kept them in the context of coffee. But again, you do you. I think they're great. They adhere to pretty much anything. And you want to be careful when you're taking off the backing because they're attached to like an acrylic, no, an acetate. But then there's this kind of, it's almost like a vellum, but it has, I don't know what to call that. Almost like a waxed paper kind of texture to it. And that prevents these from sticking because this is the sticky side, right? This is the front, this is the sticky side, and it will stick to just about anything except this. So you want to be careful when you're laying it down to do the actual, what's the word I'm looking for? Burnishing. But yeah, there's lots of ways you can do that. I would just say just go with caution, go slow, and be cognizant of where you're putting it. So these are all the rub-ons. They come in the gold and the copper, as you saw. As the coffee, a line of coffee cups, stay calm and grind on. Life is better with coffee and friends. A perfect blend, coffee and friends. And then 2 different tea mugs and 2 different sets of hearts. Friend is on here twice. Coffee is on here twice. This one says we go together like coffee and cream. You deserve some coffee. Here's the second perfect blend, and then daily grind. That one, like I mentioned earlier, says thanks a latte. And then over here we have life is better with coffee and friends and hello sweet friend. So just so you kind of see what you're getting, because I've used a lot of mine. So this is what the whole sheet looks like, and again it comes in gold and copper. So that's the rub-ons. The ephemera, which I'm not going to dump out, but I've used most of what comes in the pack. But I've also taken some of the pattern paper and cut it down to use as ephemera as well. But there you can see, if you want to pause and take a closer look and see all the ephemera, I can tell you that the artwork on this ephemera is absolutely stunning. It really is. And I love these little pennant pieces. I don't know what it is about pennants and garlands and banners, but I just love them. But anyway, yeah, give it a pause. Check it out. Zoom in if you want to. I will read these to you. It says, let's meet for coffee. This one says, coffee and friends make the perfect blend. This one, life is better with coffee and friends. This one says, sweet. This one says, take a little coffee break and rise and grind. So there are those. I love them. And then a quick flip through of the paper pad. Now this is all that I have left. I have one of each, and I saved one of each so that I could show you guys again. So mine are actually out of the cover, but yeah, so there's the coffee beans with a little space in between with a white background. Smaller coffee beans, you can see the difference there. They're smaller, and there's no white, so it's like a big pile of coffee beans. That looks so real. I mean, you talk about photorealism. That, yeah. And then here's a toss print. I guess these are all toss prints, aren't they? With the coffee mugs and the coffee beans and then the greenery. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Now, these are some of the things that I have cut out to use as ephemera. Basically, I've cut different coffee mugs. I've even cut out some of these greenery pieces. And very similar with the coffee cups, but of course the cups themselves are different, right? The drink inside is different, and then the greenery in the back is different. Even the beans are different. These are a little more reddish, kind of yellowy brown, and these are a much more deeper kind of black brown. And these leaves are different as well. So similar but different. And then look at those coffee cups. That is such a happy print to me. That's not so much a toss as it is, you know, graphics in a line, but I think this little guy right here is my favorite. That one and that one. But again, I've cut these out and used them as ephemera. These little to-go cups, like a solo cup. Very cute. That bright green just is really a pop on there. And I think this one is my favorite. I don't know why it matters, but I think they're fun. And I like the little coffee beans all in a row. I think that's cute. And then we've got some iced coffee with some piles of beans in the back. Some of them have straws, some of them don't. And then these, I think, are more like a Frappuccino, something along those lines. I think they're very pretty. I love the Cool Whip look on there, and I love that the Cool Whip looks like it has the coffee in it. Yeah, that's nice. And then the coffee scenes. They're absolutely stunning. Again, I would encourage you, if there's anything that you want to spend a little more time on, just pause and zoom in, you know, at your own pace. I'm not going to linger on any of them for too long because I don't know how many times now to film this because I just get too wordy and I want to talk about everything. But like the color palettes and the painting, and if you like watercolor, this is definitely up your alley. And if you like coffee, I mean, what's not to like? I would sit in any of these coffee shops and have a cuppa with a friend. I mean, look at how beautiful that is. Which one would you sit in? I think this one. I like reds, but then I like them all. All right, so there is that. And so with that said, now let me pull out the confetti mixes. So this one is called Freshly Ground, and it is the brown mix. And we've looked at it before, but I'll just pour it out real quick just so we can see. It has the, well, there's little coffee beans in there too. I've just used them. There's coffee beans in both, but you can see it looks like a real little coffee bean. And then, of course, you can see that there's little white hearts, little brown hearts, and then these little tubular bits. It's kind of that yellow, golden yellow color, the white and the brown. So again, if you want to look closer, just hit pause and then zoom in, and you'll be able to see them at a more extended, I don't know, at your own pace. Let me just say that. And now this one is Bean Fresh. And again, lots of the coffee beans, these beautiful little green leaves, and then the white hearts. It's a beautiful mix. I love green and brown together. It reminds me of like a summer rain. We live in North Carolina, and it's pretty lush here, and then when it rains, you know, everything gets darker. The bark on the trees gets darker. Excuse me, I had to have a drink. And then, of course, you know, the leaves seem brighter to me. So, I don't know. Anyway, that's what it always reminds me of. But on to my flip book. Again, I will invite you to pause and zoom in if you want to look at something more closely, because I don't know how to keep this shorter if I go into too much detail. Now, I made the backgrounds in another video. I'll link to that video, but they are all gel plate pulls, gel plate prints. And then I've added stenciling to them, splatter, ink blending along the sides, that kind of thing. Even some printing with this vintage script stamp from Tim Holtz that sits on my desk. I use it all the time. But you can see that the pages are tabbed. This is a tabbed art journal from Art by Marlene. It's been in my stash forever. I don't know. It's here somewhere. This is, I think, only half of the tags that were in there. And I don't know what these are made out of. It's thicker than a chipboard. I don't know. But anyway, took the paint really well. So here you can see that I've used a couple pieces of the ephemera that came in the ephemera pack. And then you can see all the little bits that I cut out of the paper. It's not my best fussy cutting, but when you look at the whole thing, I think it's cute. I used green to go with the green background. I used some of the mix bits to add a little bit to them in this little banner down here, and I used a couple of the rub-ons. You see them in the light? And you can see some of that splatter in the background as well. And I used some crystal glaze, Nouveau crystal glaze, on top of the coffee, on some of the different elements, just to give it a little bit of shine and one more layer of texture. So then we'll flip it over, and then this is the next one. And I have used a variety of different tags from my stash just to cut these out just for added interest. You can see that I've used some charms from my stash, and I've used a little bit of the lace ribbon. Yeah, and again, I would invite you, if you're interested in the backgrounds and how they came together, watch that other video. I do make 2 of these tags in that video as well, but and I show that whole process. But this one I think is really cool. I don't know if you can tell, but those 2 together are this scene. So you see that's the end of the counter, and then this piece is right there. Had I put this one down and this one up, I think it would have made more sense because it would follow the perspective of the, it's not a photo, it looks like a photo. Anyway, it would follow the perspective of the print, but I just thought it was cool and I like that. And you can see that I use the coffee here, but I squished it together a little bit. Whoop. You see how the letters are further apart? So I lined up the EE. I kept that backing on. Remember I said you want to be careful with that backing on, or you're going to adhere it to something you may not want to. So I lifted it and I exposed the EE and I rubbed that down, and then I exposed the FF and rubbed it down, and then I did the CO. And so I was able to condense that a little bit more, so it just covers the end of the countertop. And then here it says, life is better with coffee and friends. Super simple. And then 4 of those little frappuccinos, if you will, and then I added some of the little hearts, the white hearts. I'm not sure which mix I took them from. They both have the white hearts, but I think it's really cute. And then we flip over here and some similar stuff. Again, another tag from my stash, and this is actually the other side of that print. But I've layered the tag up onto another one, so it has that black background. And I've added a couple coffee mugs and some more of the crystal glaze just to make different elements pop. You can see on the background, moving back to the tag, that I added some of that vintage script. I also added it to the photo, as well as over here to the little sign. Now this originally was the Stay Calm and Grind On, but I adhered it to vellum and it adhered perfectly. But when I tried to adhere the vellum to the black cardstock, I just really messed it up. I don't throw much away, but that I threw away. And then I redid it with the coffee, but you can see, I'll flip it over here so you can see it better. I used the coffee by itself to go there, and then I took the line of coffee cups and I put them there, and then I call these little splashy bits, I don't know what they're called, these guys. And then I did one on top and I did one on bottom. So you can really mix them up and use them how and where you want. So they're very versatile. And then again, some more of those cutout pieces. All of these are cutout pieces. And you know, maybe that's not everyone's favorite look, and that's okay. And it's not, like I said, not my best fussy cutting, but it doesn't make me mad. It makes me happy when I look at these, knowing all the different things that my hands did to make these. I think they're really fun. So this is one that I made in the other video. I don't know if it's the first one. So this one and this one, this will be the next one we look at. But this, I think, was the first one. Again, dies from my stash to cut out the photo, if you will, the photo. And then different of the ephemera elements, and then the different pieces that I've cut out of the pattern paper, as well as some of the, not the ephemera, the clay bits, the coffee. And you can see there's little hearts and there's little flowers, or not flowers, but leaves. So I think these clusters of greenery just kind of give it some life, because like this one only has that little bit of greenery, but it still brightens it up. This one has no greenery, and it doesn't, I'm not upset about it. It's just different. But I feel like the green really kind of gives it some life. So I feel like the green pulls the green out of the print, and then it also pulls the green from the pull in the back. And then you can see I have some of those blues in the pull in the back as well. And then those kind of reddy yellow browns. And then I pulled I used the pattern paper. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I always refer back. But I used this row. I think it was this row. Yeah, because it's yellow, 2 yellows, yellow, yellow, blue, kind of orangey yellow, yellow. So, and then I just cut, I fussy cut along the bottom to make kind of a scalloped end, and then I fussy cut around each one, and then a little divot in between. So you do you though. If that's not appealing to you, then don't do it by all means. But any pattern paper can be cut out like that, and you can use different elements. And instead of fussy cutting like that, the different elements, you can also use dies if you want to use squares or circles or hexes or triangles or whatever. Do it. If you think what if, go ahead and give it a try and see what you think. But I think that one's really fun. I don't know. I hated covering up the background, so I can't lie. I was very happy with my backgrounds. And that's why this one has much less, because I was so in love with this background, I did not want to cover it up. Now, I had a question about the glue that I used. Depending on what I was doing, I used different glues, and also depending on just whatever was on my desk. But I did use this Liquitex acrylic medium gloss gel for like the decoupaging in the back and adding some of these other elements on here. I did use this. It just is very strong. You can use, I mean, there's a lot of different mediums out there that you can use. And I have gloss just because that's what I have in my stash. And you can see as I turn it, you can see the gloss in the background. That would drive some people crazy. It doesn't bother me, but you can also get matte so that you don't necessarily see those brush strokes and see where the medium is, but it doesn't bother me. So now on this one, on the coffee and the heart and things, I did not add any of the crystal glaze. I just mixing it up a little bit. And this piece of ephemera says, "Life is better with coffee and friends." And when you look at the artistry of that coffee shop, I mean, I could sit in that shop. I could sit down here with a friend. Maybe I would rent that apartment space up above. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh, I mean, think of your own creative story. What could be happening in that building? Isn't that fun? I love that. Oh, and we did that side already. So we will flip it. They're sticking together. We'll flip it this way. And that one I think is really fun too. And I tried to, as I was building my pages, I was trying to coordinate the ephemera and or the pattern paper with the color scheme on the background. When I made the backgrounds, I pulled colors from the whole pattern paper pack. So, yeah. So use the same die as that one. And then some of the coffee mugs and some of the to-go mugs. And then I used some more of this. You can see it's that exactly. And I just cut a strip of it, fishtailed the ends, and added a little banner in the back just to layer it. And then here I layered 2 pieces of ephemera. Used some of the crystal glaze to just add some texture and some dimension and some shine. Some of those little bits. And called it done. I did add just a little bit of the crystal glaze to those little flower pots in the photo, and then on the coffee and the lids as well. So I think it's really fun. And then this one, I love that blue background. I added some of the stamping. A lot of the tags I did ink blending around the edges, but I did not on all of them. And I'm curious, can you guys tell the ones that I did and the ones that I didn't? Have you noticed that as I've gone along? This tag is fairly new to my stash. It's from Anna White. And of course you can see I used just some lace to make the little tie at the top, and I put some lace on the sides as well. Several of the little to-go mugs, Fussy cut them out using hearts on the lighter mugs. And then this piece of ephemera that says Daily Grind, some of the coffee beans and greenery in the background. I feel like that little bit of greenery pulls the greenery out of here. And again, you can see that I use some of that stamping in the background there, as well as on the ephemera and on the tag. So just trying to make things make sense. Now there was a lot of white going on in this photo, but there's white in the background, there's white on the tag, and then I had the white on, or there's white in the ephemera, I'm sorry. The white on the lace. So I didn't want as much white in the photo. I keep calling it photos. It just is what it is. I'll embrace it. So I did some ink blending on this just to kind of push that white back to the background. But I think that it kind of vintages up that, is that a word? Vintages it up? I'm going to move on. Y'all understand what I'm saying. And then here we go. This is the last page. And I really like this page. I don't know, this one seems a little more sweet and a little more, I don't know, feminine and maybe even formal. I don't know. What do y'all think? I think the reason that I feel that is the lace. I think all the curves, and I think all of the shine from the ephemera, and then the texture and the shine from the crystal glaze. I think those are the elements that make me think that. But just created some backgrounds, again, just dies from my stash. And these are actually two different coffee scenes, but I used them together because you can't tell. I mean, the artistry is the same, the color palette is the same, even though they're very different rooms. And I'll see if I can show you again real quick just so you understand what I'm saying. So it's that window. Oh, it is the same scene. My bad. I don't know. It's not that window. It's these chairs. Where's the other one? Oh, it's still down here. So it's those chairs. And it's this window with the little shelf right there. You can see that, and you can see the light. And then I use the rub-on. Coffee. Life is better with coffee and friends, and I left the little bits there, and I added the hearts above and below. And again, you use them the way you want to use them. So I have mixed them up, right? And so even though these are together on the rub off, you can see on this one I still have the words life is better with coffee and friends, but on the other one I don't, because you get to choose what elements you want to use each time you use them. So I think it's really fun. And then on this one with the chairs, we go together like coffee and cream. Just rubbed that right over those chairs and added the little coffee mugs, and again the crystal glaze, and then two of the iced coffees, or the, I don't know what you call those. But I really love this little element here. It's like a swag of those coffee bean plant leaves. And I just layered them on the back. And I just, again, feel like that bit of greenery just bunches it up, kicks it up, steps it up a little bit. I don't know, but that's just what I think. And that, my friends, is my little coffee book. But let me tell you that right now, while this video is fresh and new, for the next 7 days from today, for 7 days, Lisa is having a 10% off at checkout. If you use my video links and go to the store and shop anything in the coffee line. Yeah, just the coffee themed products. But hop over there, see what piques your interest, and know that she's also having a huge clearance sale. I've already put in my order. I would encourage you to do that. Again, use my links. You don't have to purchase whatever link. So say you use the link for the Bean Fresh Mix and you get over there and you end up not buying this. Still, anything that you purchase will give me credit, and that will go back into my channel. Yeah, just by shopping using the link. So you don't necessarily have to buy that particular product. But I would encourage you, these are so fun. And think about with mixes like this, you can pull out what you want and what you don't want. I haven't made shakers with these at all, I don't think. I've just used the different elements to embellish. So guys, that is my book. I'm going to stop talking now. I encourage you to drop me a comment downstairs. I appreciate you so much. Let me know your thoughts. I know my style is kind of busy, especially when I do gel plate printing and then I build that into something else. So it's not for everybody, but I hope if that's not your style, you were able to glean something. I don't know, maybe I didn't really talk about technique very much, but anyway, let me know if there's anything you'd like to know, if you have any questions, comments, that kind of thing. I'll see you downstairs. And until next time, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Mwah! And I'm out.